Hello, Roger. Good to see you. How are you? How's your family?
We're doing great. How are you? We just finished building Mustang with my son and I. A little bit smaller than the original, but it was still fun nonetheless. Now my oldest son wants to have a Bronco. I don't think they do a Lego version, so it's probably going to be the real one that he's after.
Oh, I don't blame him. I love the Bronco. Which one does he want?
It's probably the most expensive one. I'm
Of
not
course.
sure yet, but he has mentioned, well, yeah, everything is expensive, right? But yeah, he's got his eyes, I think, on the two-door Badlands. So we'll have to see when he starts building it in the configurator what he's going to be getting.
Uh-huh. Well, I
How
just
about
got
you?
back from vacation. I had my first kiteboarding lesson. It was awesome.
Oh,
This,
wow.
let me share my screen here, and you can see uh, this isn't really me, but I was trying to be this guy.
Living your inner youth. Awesome.
Absolutely. I'm in complete denial of my age. So, thanks for joining, Roger. Is your title still the storage owner?
Yes, it is.
I've got a new title, Senior Manager at the Global's Digital Transformation Office. So, thanks again for joining. The agenda for this call is to review your original goals and talk
Hey
about.
Evan, it's Mary Jo LeBlanc. I
Hi, thanks
just
for
joined
joining.
in. Well, thank you for the invitation, Roger. I'm Mary Jo LeBlanc. I'm from the NetApp
Hi.
program under hi under Bill Miller, our CIO here at NetApp, and my role is really to be the voice of IT for our customer one team, who are the early adopters of our technology that run inside of NetApp. So Evan was telling me about this call, and I'm like, yeah, can I tag along? And so I hope you don't mind, but I just wanted to have a chance to hear what you have going on at Ford.
Oh, sure, no problem. Always wanted to share.
Great. All right, thanks.
So, thanks for joining, Mary Jo. Roger, perhaps you could rewind a few years and when we first started this journey together and share your original transformation goals with Mary Jo.
Sure, let me grab the screen and I'll draw it out for you. So we defined our North Star in terms of what we want to achieve. That's fixed, but the journey does vary along the way. And what we wanted to do is become our own storage service provider, transitioning to a service provider approach to provide value to our business. That was just so much a cultural change as a technology change, and really a free your mind experience of how we've done things in the past. We wanted to introduce agility, but have lower costs in terms of investment. And through that agility, get to business outcomes quicker and get to services quicker that our business can consume. A good example and a recent example is the Bronco launch. We touched on my son wanted a Bronco, but when we launched the packages, there was a package called the Sasquatch package that customers were a little bit disappointed initially that we only offered an automatic transmission. There was a lot of feedback on forums and various media outlets, and we took that feedback, looked at the viability of offering a manual transmission, and great news for our customers, we're going to be launching that. So that's now available and our customers can choose it. So that just shows you how using data and feedback gives more value to the customer and gives customers what they want.
Yeah, I get that. I really get that, Roger. Your North Star goals seem really similar to our own goals, accelerating business outcomes, yet keeping those costs low. It's an unrelenting challenge. I mean, we see it day in
Yep,
and day out, so I'm sure you understand. So tell me a little bit
absolutely.
more.
Sure. So we used the blueprint that Evan had used over prior insights. And we see this as a continuous journey. Transformation often infers that there's a beginning and an end, and it really isn't that case. So we started off reviewing what we were doing, looking at where we internally gain value from the technologies we're using, and seeing could we do things differently. That really allowed us to simplify and consolidate and provide a service catalog that was more meaningful to our customers, very much aligned with how external cloud providers label their services, very clean and simple to understand. Progressing further into this journey, we developed APIs to be able to provide automation and self-service capability, and that was enablement for DevOps and eventually DevSecOps. But we don't stop there. We continuously innovate and go through this blueprint and oscillate through different stages.
Again, a lot of similarities, there between our IT journeys. I know from our experience here at NetApp, and it's not a linear path, but it is a continuous improvement journey, and
Yep.
we're continuously looking at improving our standards or revisiting consolidations, checking out our, improve automation is you can always improve on automation, and
Yeah.
all the way through your service catalog up to your DevOps. So. It sounds very familiar.
Yep.
So when we started our transformation journey with you, Rodger, we believed we could help Ford cut your on-premises storage and compute costs by about 50% in 3 years.
Whoa, that's pretty ambitious, Evan.
Yeah, let me share my screen here and let's break it down a little bit. So in our first workshop with Rodger about 3 years ago, we set the goal together of helping to provide high performance, high availability storage for under 3 cents a gig with all flash FAS, our AFF product. And we wanted to help build private cloud automation to reduce their business wait time from days to seconds to give that agility that Rodger was speaking of. And to further reduce cost, we believe that object storage could be the backup and archive solution that could deliver sub penny per gig by providing integrated lifecycle management and cold data tiering from all flash FAS to storage grid.
Wow, it sounds like you have a lot of rabbits in your hat there, Evan.
Absolutely. We keep trying to innovate. So when we met last year with Rodger, we began to believe that we could just have additional goals like reducing compute and software licensing costs, again, maybe by half, while applying the same cloud automation model that he's doing for storage to compute services. And as Ford's IT strategy also included public cloud, moving applications and use cases to public cloud, we believed we could help Ford reduce his costs even more in the public cloud as well. So using the same technology on-prem, ONTAP, we started talking about cloud volumes ONTAP, where we could reduce their public cloud storage costs, again, maybe over 50%. While also improving availability and performance, enabling that hybrid cloud data fabric to give Rodger the ability to have data where he needed it and when he needed it, while providing sub-millisecond storage with enterprise-grade availability and security with CVS.
Yes, well, we use Cloud Volume Services for AWS here inside of IT for our Cloud One platform. So Rodger, Cloud One is our hybrid cloud platform, and it supports everything from DevOps to infrastructure as a service to containers as a service. And we use both Cloud Volume Services and Cloud Volumes ONTAP because they perform so well together, and they seamlessly integrate into the hybrid cloud.
So Rodger, could you share more details about how you transformed into a service provider? Where did you really begin that journey?
Yeah, I'm
Sure. Let me
curious.
show my screen. Yep. I can show my screen and draw it out for you.
Mm.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, so we view cloud as an experience and not a location. And with that, we wanted to be able to give our customers simplicity across wherever they receive services, be it on-prem or in external clouds. So to that end, we actually rebranded ourselves and looked at defining our services as file, block, and object, a real pivot away from the past to referring to SAN and NAS as services. That gave us a consistent catalog when we started looking at extending into a multi-cloud journey and really simplifying from a customer perspective. For the longest time, we've been teaching our customers, and there was an unraveling that needed to be done. They always had to learn what the media was, the types of brands we were using behind the scenes to be able to articulate what they wanted in terms of an architecture, design, and services. We pivoted away from that and really moved away from what we internally call knowing how the watch works to just simply being able to tell the time. That's the outcome that they really need.
Yeah, I get that. We to make that customer experience more cloud-like is exactly where we've gone as well. We offer file, object, and block at different service levels from value, performance, to extreme. So what we find is it kind of avoids that analysis paralysis in the selection process. But I do have a question. You know, you mentioned culture and getting that change. So one of the things we always talk about are the humans. So how did you get the organizations to change?
Yeah, that was a challenge. I mean, change in general is hard. If it was easy, then everyone would be doing this digital transformation. Everyone would be completed in a word. So there was a lot of cultural work around how we wanted to form our team, how we wanted to operate. And to be honest, when we first engaged Evan, we were nothing but storage geeks. We had SMEs that knew nothing but storage. And today, if I look at my team, we have a combination of developers and storage SMEs that sit side by side or used to prior to COVID. Now that's virtual, where they collaborate, and we have the storage SME helping the developer to be able to create APIs in an engaging format to support self-service. We also decided to use MVP, a minimal viable product approach, to get quick releases and that feedback, which was really valuable to us.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, MVP. Yep.
So, Rodger, could you fast forward then to the present? Where are you in terms of the results of your transformation? What business outcomes have you actually achieved?
Yeah, I can share those with you. So when we started this journey, we were very manually intensive, and now we've got 14,000 requests through the system, saving 20,000 tickets of work that we had to do, and that yielded about a $1.2 million savings in SLA hours. We've reduced our portfolio and footprint to a 4x carbon and physical footprint. Our technologies are around 40% reduced, and then our procurement time to being able to order to get it on the dock and into service is a reduction of about 60%. So great savings
Wow.
overall.
Yeah, great savings. So what would have happened if you hadn't done this?
I would hate to think. I mean, we'd probably be building data centers just for the data. So that we were very slow as well, and we didn't have the agility, if we were perfectly honest. And our outcomes really weren't helping our business move where they needed to move. And that was sort of where Shadow IT came, and the sudden enticement to go to external cloud providers for services.
So, tell Mary Jo more about how you're using Fabric Pool to Storage Grid to reduce cost.
Sure. So when we started this journey, Fabric Pool wasn't a capability, and we went with Flash as an all density play, not necessarily performance. But we realized that there was opportunities through code upgrades to get feature functionality such as storage grid integration with Fabric Pool. And we use Fabric Pool for cold data and snapshots, and even our offsite copies, all tier to that lower tier of cost in terms of storage, while maintaining the premium capability in terms of the Flash for our workloads where it's needed. So that combination really helped us keep the not only the costs in check, but also helped us keep our carbon footprint and physical footprint in check as well. So awesome combination.
Mm-hmm. And it's my understanding that a major part of this transformation was moving away from, as you were talking about, the brands and the vendors and the technologies, the physical silos with a collection of SAN arrays, NAS arrays, and that was creating quite a problem. Is that correct?
Sure was. I mean, we had dedicated infrastructure and dedicated teams to support that infrastructure. So we had a NAS environment that had dedicated engineering and operations team, a SAN environment, conversely, and a backup environment, and also object storage. And so those silos really didn't promote agility. They were inefficient in terms of how we did capacity consumption. And they worked well, but it doesn't really align with where we need to take the business moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it. We've actively, I should say, avoided creating silos in our storage infrastructure as well. So how did you move away from these silos?
So we came to the epiphany that SAN and NAS were just protocols and storage is storage. So we adopted a unified storage approach where file and block services came from the same physical infrastructure. That helped us pivot in terms of our journey. We ourselves were building new data centers and transforming applications. And to be honest, I think we were probably a little bit overzealous in some of the virtualization that we tried. And that allowed us to pivot to physical hardware with the same storage. We consolidated the teams and leveraged QoS capabilities to be able to give different tiering of service levels. So ultimately, really got a good return and consolidation that you saw in the numbers I shared.
Well, you've really got a great leadership story here. Could you have received all of these outcomes and benefits without NetApp, all-flash FAS, and storage grid?
No, that was something that when we looked at the portfolio, there wasn't really one vendor that did everything, including NetApp. Fabric Pools was just a roadmap. But first adopting that unified storage approach and then seeing what was on the roadmap helped us plan. Instead of throwing hardware at the problem and creating those silos, we got feature functionality through code upgrades, such as Fabric Pool, the fan-out snapshot capability, snap mirror capability. So I don't think there was another vendor that could have helped us at that time the way NetApp did.
Yeah, with software-defined storage and engineered systems, we just keep getting better and better. I think you saw that the new ONTAP 9.8 was just announced, and that just means that you're going to get better and better storage efficiency and feature functionality.
Yeah, we're excited to adopt that.
So Rodger, I think we could provide similar outcomes for your compute service, reducing cost, improving agility and automation. Let me share my screen here and talk about HCI, hybrid cloud infrastructure. It has disaggregated architecture that allows scaling storage and compute separately, which enables huge reductions in licensing costs for software and cost per VM. What do you think about meeting about that subject?
Yeah, let's talk about more on that subject.
Well, yeah, I think, Roger, as you move to the public clouds, the use of cloud volumes on tap to improve your agility and optimize cost will really help, as you mentioned, in your North Star goals.
Yeah, we see cloud as a location. Sorry, we see cloud as a service, not a location. And so having that capability is definitely going to allow us to breach out and get that multi-cloud journey.
Yeah, well, we use Cloud Manager to manage our CDO instances, and we're going to be looking at the new cloud backup service that was just announced, because as we know, performance is always a concern in the cloud, and the use of cloud volume services for workloads that demand high performance works out.
Yeah, high performance is starting to be a growing use case that we're interested in.
Fantastic. So, Roger, I'd like to meet later and talk more about your hybrid cloud needs. And since you're attending Insight, we've got several breakout sessions you might consider on your screen here. NetApp Transformation Architects are going to be providing several sessions about IT and digital transformation that help people design their future state.
Yep, so we have a couple of our IT leaders who will be presenting several sessions on IT and digital transformation as well, including our own CIO, Bill Miller, and his team.
And Roger, of course, you're on a panel discussion with some partners in the automotive vertical birds of a session. Look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, I guess I might be eligible for a set of steak knives if I had another session.
Yeah, I'd like to see you juggle some knives. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think steak knives are well warranted there, Roger. Well, it was great to meet you, and thank you for letting me tag along today. Thank you.
Likewise.
So if I could summarize the outcomes, AFF and Storage Grid are helping reduce cost, enabling private cloud on-prem. Let's look at HCI to talk about reducing your compute and licensing cost, enabling the further journey of private cloud with compute as well. Cloud Volumes ONTAP and Cloud Volume Services could help you reduce storage costs in the cloud, while also adding the enterprise capabilities for hybrid multi-cloud data fabric. So I'm looking forward to attending insight sessions with you, Rodger, about IT and digital transformation.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, guys, for letting me join you.
Oh, no worries.
All right. Well, see you again soon. When your son gets his new Bronco, let me know. I'd like to check it out.
Yeah, I bet he would do too as well. I think I might prefer the kiteboarding as an option.
Okay, I'll call you.
All right, guys. Have a
All
great
right.
Yeah.
day.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, you
Have a
too.
good day.
Thank you.